Welcome to Terraria Classic Mode, where this is supposed to be the beginning, but when you've been playing Master Mode, it just feels a little too easy. You'll be moving with no speed because Expert Mode and above only grants you Shield of Cthulhu. So you won't have any boosts of any kind, and you'll be stuck moving at snail's pace for most of the run. But anyways, let's get into this random classic mode run. We spawn right into our brand new world and begin to cut down a bunch of trees so we can collect tons of wood. And then we head down to the caves due to there not being much to do on the surface. We quickly find out that there is a rail car that leads right into the jungle for some unknown reason, but it decided to generate there. We try to explore a little bit, but we know that if we become a little too hasty, we will perish to the jungle enemies, even though it's classic mode. Everything still has a possibility of absolutely demolishing you. On my journeys, I do find myself a pyramid that I found by using the housing check button. It's a little strategy that helps me find if there's a gap big enough underground that is big enough to tell me, oh, this room needs a light, a door, a table, or something. The housing's too big. That just tells me there's a room big enough, and I'm going to assume that there's a pyramid in there. We quickly dig down there, and I find myself a flying carpet. And I do utilize it for a lot of this run. Passing the pyramid expedition, we continue to explore left. After passing the dungeon, we find ourselves the Crimson biome. We enter the chasms and find ourselves very conveniently placed set of Crimson Hearts. We absolutely destroy these two things up and catch ourselves a heart amulet and the Undertaker we've been searching for all along. After gearing up and returning from the Crimson, we decide to head back and just build ourselves a little house. A little shoebox, just to call it home. Bring in some NPCs for some later pylon building. We then head back right into the jungle, ready to take on just a little bit more than usual. Just to go get some life crystals, just general looting in the underground jungle. Lots of useless items though, not a lot of good loot. After the jungle expedition, we decide to head right into space. Just a quick skydive in hopes we find fledgling wings. Unfortunately, Redigit is not on our side and does not grant us the blessing of early pre-hard mode wings. We eventually lose patience and decide to just quickly fight the lips of Cthulhu? I honestly forgot I added this resource pack for God knows what reason. But we make a pretty quick job at fighting the Eye of Cthulhu. It's pretty easy because it's classic mode. It's just a complete joke. It's just easy. Why would anyone want to play classic mode? By beating the Eye of Cthulhu, you get essentially nothing because you don't get Shield of Cthulhu that lets you dash. So this is all mostly a waste of time, except for money. After beating the Eye of Cthulhu, we just decide to do a little bit of fishing, just to pass the time, to collect some fish, maybe some crates. I usually use the fish for food, for mining speed. That's typically what I do. We head back right into the Crimson biome to set up a quick little arena for the Brain of Cthulhu. And as soon as we're done, we throw our bomb right in and the fight begins. I think this fight is also pretty easy. I think the hardest part is just phase 1 that takes time. And then phase 2, it's pretty easy, especially if you know how to cheese it. I learned this randomly in the middle of a random day, I just learned how to cheese Reign of Cthulhu, but I still, because it's classic, it was pretty easy. It didn't really take that long, but yep, that's the Brain of Cthulhu. And just like that, easy as 1, 2, and 3. Lightwork Reign of Cthulhu. And then we decide to do it just one more time. It's just that easy. It's that easy. I'm telling you, it's just that easy. With all of that secured, we do gain a lot of Primtane ore and the tissue samples that we do need. With this in our hands, we decide to begin our elevator, which I straight up just put something on my mouse and let myself go down with the occasional break, but we make it down pretty quickly. And just because I can, I decided to go down to the underground desert because at the time I did not have Hermes boots. I did not find any Hermes boots. So I decided to go to the underground desert and find myself a pair of sand dune boots, or whatever they're called. But I spent a good while, and I survived. As we finished excavating the underground desert, we decided to go build our Skeletron arena to very soon fight Skeletron. That's quite literally what's coming up next. I was starting to get bored. And just like that, a blood moon begins just as we were gonna begin fighting Skeletron. But we continue to do it regardless, because it won't really do us much harm. Skeletron in classic mode is so much easier compared to expert and master. Skeletron's head has no added defense when the arms are alive, so you can just go straight for the head and nothing will happen besides you getting hit. But when you barely take damage from anything, that doesn't really matter. So Skeletron ended up being very, very lightweight. We soon begin our descent into the dungeon and search for the mechanic, bewitching table, alchemy table, and bones from our local skeletons to make necro armor. We don't find all these things quickly. We do try to loot some chests, but eventually we do find everything, just like here we have our mechanic. We go back down into the underworld to begin excavating for our precious Hellstone. Now, I'm running a ranger build, so I don't necessarily need Hellstone armor, nor do I need it at all for defense. I would probably take it if I was in master mode, or probably not, to be honest, but it's a good money resource, and I do need the pickaxe and such items made out of Hellstone, so we go and do that regardless. With a bunch of new weapons tools crafted, we decide to head into the jungle just as a sidetrack to make the Knight's Edge. Why did I do this? Because I was bored. And I was like, yeah, I might as well make it. I already have the Volcano, I already have the Muramasa, I already have the Blood Rusher. You know what? I'll just go get the Blade of Grass. It doesn't matter. So I did that. And then I went down to the underworld to fight the Wall of Flesh. I had cleared out some area before that, but I only cleared out area. Just a quick water walking and obsidian skin. and some buffs. That's all I needed to fight the Wall of Flesh. So here's that fight, I guess. And with the Wall of Flesh beaten, we have now unlocked hard mode with the new biome of the Hollow and a bunch of ores now unlocked after breaking a bunch of Crimson Altars, which we did very quickly. We find ourselves the Wizard as well while we're mining for our ores of Palladium, Orichalcum, and, luckily, Titanium. I would have been really upset if it were Adamantite. It's not that great. But we got Titanium, gratefully, and we did our little mining session that is always required and takes forever to do. And like the brave little boyos we are, we decided to fight Queen Slime right after we finished grinding for our Titanium armor. And just how great we are, we absolutely died to Queen Slime. How am I this bad at the game? I've died a couple times before this as well, like maybe twice. It's just devastating. It's classic mode. It's not that hard. It's still a hard mode boss though. I also die more later, but you know what? It's fine. We'll get better. We'll get better. We'll lock back in. Frost armor. Frost armor. And just like that, we got locked into grinding for Frost Armor. This absolutely takes forever, but for one reason only. I got the first 2 Frost Shards and a Frost Feather, luckily, that I turned into wings. But the third one I was waiting for so long, and it turns out it was in a small cave below me that I could not hear at all. It was absolutely trolling me. Hard mode is being so cruel to me right now. I don't get it. And right after that, I decided to finally go farm some Souls of Flight. Unfortunately, the game only gave me 1 wyvern with 17. I needed 3 more, so I spent half an hour sitting there doing nothing. It took forever. I spent so long. I can't express how much I was so mad. But as soon as it spawns right in front of me. That guy gets annihilated. He just gets destroyed, demolished. I was not having it anymore. I was so exhausted from just waiting. That was so boring. Like, I couldn't deal with that anymore. I'm so glad I got my wings. I cannot express that. But anyways, right after getting my wings, we decided to go back for our amazing rematch with the Queen Slime. This time, we actually do succeed with our good frost armor, and I got myself some crystal bullets for a little extra DPS with the frost armor. It's a really good combination. I suggest it if you do ranger. But we go kill Queen Slime, and it didn't take that long either, so I'm glad with that. And as we defeat her, we get ourselves a gelatinous pillion, and because I was so good, I decided to beat her twice. I'm just that great. Anyways, we decide to go fight the Moab. Okay, I swear, I don't know what resource packs I have. But anyways, we decide to go fight the Moab, or Duke Fishron, and we absolutely suck. Die! We also die, because we're morons. We're idiots. Because we're stupid. We're stupid, okay? We're stupid. We're stupid. Right after that humiliating defeat, we decide to go down to a small underground Crimson area to farm Ichor, or Ichor, I don't know how you pronounce it, so we can make the Ichor book, or in this case, the resource pack names it the Piss Book. It's funny, but we do that. Then we go down to the Underground Hallow because I needed Souls of Light for boss summons because they were not naturally spawning. But while that was happening, the game gives me a round of Discord. You have no idea how much I'm losing my mind right now because I'm being so bad at the game, yet the game is giving me the most rare item possible. I'm so mad right now. Anyways, right after that, we decide to go fight the... Okay, why do I keep the lips thing? The lips thing, what am I doing? We fight the twins, and it goes pretty straightforward. I sometimes use the Ichor debuff, and then I just use my Clockwork Assault Rifle with the Frost Armor and Crystal Bullets to deal that extra damage. Pretty easy fight. Never struggle with the twins. They gotta be my favorite first pick for the mech bosses, at least. And right after, we decided to do Skeletron Prime. Also pretty straightforward. His hands get annoying, but you know, spray some piss all over the guy, and you gotta win right there. That's basically it. We do run out of time, though, so we decide to sleep the night and fight the Destroyer the next day. I could say this boss was pretty easy. It takes longer because it's not like a one thing. There's probes, it's multiple segments, it doesn't split either. So you just have to deal damage to it. So it's a little longer than usual. No, I don't mean just because it's a big worm, it's longer, right? Like, the fight is just longer and a little more tedious. But overall, no threat was posed. I was completely fine. And we did that super quickly. So right after we have beat all of the 3 mech bosses, I decide to make the pickaxe and not the hollowed armor because I like chlorophyte. So yeah, we go completely dechlorification nation on the underground jungle, getting everything we can absolutely get out of this jungle. I then decided to go play anti-aircraft weapon because once I acquired my chlorophyte armor, it turns out that I just one-shot slimes out of the air, and there was a slime rain. So I was just sniping them. I was just sniping them out of the air. This is pretty funny, not gonna lie. I had some fun with this. I also tanked the absolute life out of King Slime. I hadn't fought him before this point, so I just had the Captain America shield and chlorophyte armor. I was not fighting one bit. It was just the leaf crystal and me. This classic mode is too easy, bro. Classic's too easy! After having ourselves that little bit of fun, we do decide to get back on track and fight our favorite little plant, Plantera. This fight was really easy. Chlorophyte shot bow, fish book. It could not get any easier, bro. And then I also have the Rod of Discord. It is going crazy. It's going crazy. I cannot express that enough. Right after that quick victory of defeating Plantera, we decide to go remodel a random sky island to become a mushroom biome in the overworld. So we can get the truffle NPC. So we can get our shroomite armor. And once the truffle finally spawns in, we get the auto hammer and make our shroomite bars for the shroomite armor. Finally unlocking the armor that will last us all the way till the end game. It's time to lock in. Before we go any further progressing in the run, we must go on and have a rematch with Dukeless Fishron, or the Moab, as we see again. Chlorophyte shot bow, chlorophyte arrows, that's pretty good DPS, high core from the piss book, and our shroomite armor, we're good, and we most definitely win. After acquiring the tsunami from Duke Fishron, we decided to go take on Gollum, the punching bag that the Terraria community knows as. Light work. Absolute cinema. But what else do I gotta say? He's Gollum. He doesn't pose a threat. On with the video. Right after that, we decide to go and harass the lunatic cultist. Yeah, lunatic cultist. Lunatic cultist. Yeah. Classic mode lunatic cultist. I'm bad at lunatic cultist, but he wasn't that bad. And now that the lunatic cultist is down, the lunar pillars descend upon this realm. Vortex pillar comes first because we need those ever so delicious vortex weapons. Then Stardust pillar. Ooh. And Nebula. And then the solar pillar. It's time! Finally! The final fight. We can't lose. We can't lose now. Classic mode Moonlord. Too easy. Surely this goes well, right? Surely. Surely. Surely, please. Ah! How does this happen? Run him back. Run him back. We're doing Moonlord again. Okay. Maybe this time. Maybe this time we'll do it, right? Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one. Right? 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 I killed myself with the Rod of Discord. I'm pathetic. Oh my gosh. Run it back. One more time. One more time, please. I got a good feeling about this one. This has to be the one. I'm locked in. You can see it in the Terrarian's eyes. You can see it. He's locked. Each movement with elegance, grace, and absolute precision. This cannot go wrong. This is the one. I know it is. It is done. This world is finally complete. The Moonlord has been defeated. Oh, this. How did this go from being the easiest run to the most convoluted run? In between the Moonlord runs, I ran to the dungeon to get the Master Ninja gear that you see there. I went to do the Pumpkin Moon to get the Bewitched Twig mount, but then I found out it was Master Mode only. So I was spending so much time basically doing nothing. Anyways, that's the end of this run, and therefore this video. Thank you so much for reaching this far. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, that's basically it. I will see you on the next video. Adios.